All right, and we're good. What is up, guys? I'm Danny Wader,
Larry Szynski,
and this is Slam the X Button Podcast.
episode 2.
Ooh, 2. I'm still recording it on my iPhone because the iPhone is pretty fantastic, and we're probably going to be editing on my iPhone. Anyway, we're gonna edit it on my iPhone. I don't know why.
Oh, man. It's one
It's
of those things, man. It's just one of those things. I mean, I would have probably done the same thing.
I mean,
We're gonna try editing it later. There.
yeah. I do this all the time. My brain works faster than my mouth.
Yeah. So does mine.
There was one time at work, I was working on the oven part for these Ford parts, right? And you put these foam parts in the oven and close it. And then when it opens up, you take them out and you put them on this cooling bucket so they can cool down.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I can't remember what I was trying to tell Larry, but I looked him dead in the eyes. and what I told him that I wanted to say, he was like, because he had a little respirator on because it's a little nasty there. Dude, I don't even know what you said. It was just, it's so bad, and I have so many moments like that. But
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for the first episode. You guys completely smashed my goal for views. So many likes. You know, we have, what, 4 or 5 subscribers?
Already, yeah.
Like, thank you guys. You know?
Let's get them numbers up.
Yeah. Like, would we like to make money from this? Maybe. But it's just, it's so fun to do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so great that we have people that support us, but not only support us, but actually like the content and actually want to talk about video games with us. And in this podcast, at least for me, I'm going to be talking about the Final Fantasy VII demo that dropped. And Larry's going to speak on...
It'll be a surprise.
Okay. Then after me is him. And he watched me play through most of the demo as well.
Yeah.
So, the Final Fantasy VII remake actually comes out the 10th of April. You know, I am so excited for it. The demo was great. The things I really loved about it was that they kept it true to how the game starts out. You know, so the demo is the very first mission for the Mako reactor. You know, the first mission. And, you know, the train scene where, you know, it has the sky view of Midgar. And then, you know, it shows the train, Midgar, train, Midgar, train, Midgar, train, you know, and then all of a sudden, get to the train station. And the fact that they added that in still was fantastic. And it,
Oh, yeah.
and then all the characters look amazing as well. Like Cloud looks like Cloud.
Oh, yeah.
Aerith, or as Americans know her, Ares, but her real name in Japan is Aerith. She looks fantastic as well. You know, like they really showcase the planet's life force, and she's communicating with it, and she's, you know, just bonding with it basically because, you know, no spoilers, even though people basically know the storyline, but I still won't give any story. I just said it.
Spoilers.
Spoilers!
Oh!
Oh! And, you know, no spoilers, but it's just, they did such a good job with it. And, you know, the combat, I'm a little on both sides. I like the new combat system. You know, I think it's very immersive and it puts you into the game more. But I also think there's too much going on, and they were adding too many features in my opinion, and it's just the beginning. It's just the demo. But there's still there's an operative mode, and then there's a Punisher mode with Cloud and how he attacks, which is cool, but it's also it doesn't feel like I'm playing 7 when I'm attacking, really. It feels like I'm playing not even Final Fantasy, just a different game, which is good, but also in the same aspect that I really want the game to stay true to what it was on the PlayStation when it came out in 1997. And
that's the year I graduated high school.
It's an old fart right here. Yeah. Just still, floating around.
Yeah, just barely though.
But still love him. This is my dude
for now.
What? I hate him already.
Yeah, I mean, until I'm gone,
Yeah, until he stops rooting for the Lions.
Yeah, that's the only shirt I have. I don't have a New Orleans Saints shirt. Who dat?
Anyway,
that's for another podcast. That's for our other podcast.
Exactly.
Switch over to the USLC.
But, and it's the demo, so things can change.
Yeah.
Some of the little nuances will be different. But overall, I would give it an 8 out of 10 because not only is the combat pretty immersive, but the voice actors fit the characters perfectly. And I really love what they did to Wedge, Jesse, and...
Barrett?
No, not Barrett. The 3 characters that... They're not really important characters, but they're still there, and you still... And the thing that made 7 special is that every character you met, you always remembered them.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout your playthrough, you still remembered them. They still brought them in different points of the game. No matter if you met them once, twice, 3 times, you're out. The old ball game. They still showcased them at some point, and they had a significant impact in that point of the game. So you never really forgot them. One thing I didn't quite like in the demo was that they had Jesse really falling head over ears for Cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the original, it's it hinted she liked him, but dreamy blue eyes and just keep your dreamy blue eyes on me and you'll be okay, or ooh, just she was saying a lot towards him, and it's for one, in the original there is no love interest between that. There's no storyline that progresses with them, because I won't spoil that as well, but there's
really can't spoil anything. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, 1997. I mean, come on. If y'all didn't play that by now, I mean, come on.
Well, you still got to think they're going to probably have some younger players because it is a new game, and it's getting hyped up, and these younger
That's true.
People are probably going to be like, hey, what's this game?
It was teased in the original, but more affluent in the remake from what we saw anyway. I don't know if they're going to elaborate on it or not. But.
Yeah, and it's... I don't know if I like that. I don't like when romances or political views or anything like that is forced upon us through media and entertainment. I won't get into it too much, but certain movies that have just a complete political tone, and they're not a political movie. They're like an action movie, or a society pushed type of view. I don't like that. When I watch a movie or I play a game, I want it to be not forced. I want it to be these characters develop this relationship instead of just I love this man, give me him. I don't want that. I want to just play the game, and I want to have the choice if I want to romance this person or not. Also, my hand is right at the stop button, so boop. Just kidding. You can't see that. I can see that. Anyway, 8 out of 10. Another thing is, I don't like how time really slows down when you're playing. Like when you're trying to do a command, time slows down. It doesn't completely stop, and it's kind of cool, you know. Like when you face that first boss, you have missiles like
Right.
about to impact you, and you know it's fantastic. But at the same time, it's like it's very clunky in my opinion. And then the pacing for the demo, and like I said, it's a demo,
Yeah.
but the pacing was very boop, 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 boop. And then at the very end of the demo, it didn't say thank you for enjoying the demo. It had buy the game or buy the deluxe edition.
Right.
Okay, it didn't have the, you know, hope you enjoy, this game comes out now, pre-order if you'd like. No, they just said buy this or buy this. And I was like, no. So, you know, that was a good experience though. Like I said, 8 out of 10. I would recommend it. And you know, I'm gonna let Larry give his point of view on it because, you know, you can't just take my point of view, you know, and he was there for it. So Larry, what do you think was good about that?
Well, the thing with me is, I mean, right off the rip, I mean, just how clean the graphics are on this. It was, oh my God, it was so great. I'm like, just the intro alone. I mean, the intro alone was amazing because it was the original intro. They kept the original music and everything like that. Me and Danny were like, oh my God, we're going to cry. It's so awesome.
I know.
It was so amazing. And then, like I said, the battling was sweet at the beginning. You know, I watched, he was trying to figure out, you know, what all the buttons were and what everything does. And oh, dude, I mean, even gameplay it was quite smooth in the demo. I really liked how smooth it was. And of course, Barrett, who is one of my favorite characters in the game. Danny was over here. I was sitting in the other chair. He was sitting in one chair. I was sitting in the other. And he was going through, and we saw Barrett for the first time. And he's like, "Oh my God, dude! If you were black, you would look exactly like Barrett." I'm like, okay. I actually kind of see it, but
Yeah.
I'm like not like nowhere near as strong as he is. And you know, by the way this is filmed right now, I look like a midget compared to him. I don't know why, because we're like pretty much sitting right next to each other. So I don't know. I look like I belong in like the Munchkins from Wizard of Oz right now. So here.
There you go.
No, don't want to get that close because I'm ugly. No, but yeah. I mean, it was a very captivating demo, I will say. This is my first demo that I've actually seen in a long time, so it's been a while. I think my last demo was Resident Evil 2 on the Devil May Cry video game. Shows you how long it's been there. And we're talking the original Resident Evil 2. I really don't pay attention to demos very much because I like to be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see how good it is as I play, or how bad it is as I play. I really don't get into demos that much, but this was an exception because this was a game I grew up with. You know, like I said, I graduated high school in '97, so I finished my senior year while playing Final Fantasy VII. So it was great, but I mean, I would agree with Danny on the 8 out of 10. There is some things that I hope are going to be fixed up on because there are quite a few bug issues that I noticed while I was watching him play, like seeing the sword go through the dumpster. And it's just little details like that kind of like, yeah, this is no good here. They need to be able to fix that. And there's no damage to the dumpster. I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like we said, it's a demo, so I'm hoping it'll all smooth out once it comes out. What I didn't like, I don't like the slow motion deal. I really didn't care for that too much. when you're in action, when you're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
The slow motion thing didn't really do anything for me. I thought that was a waste because I think it slows the game down.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I'm assuming it will probably be on the game, which makes me sad because I don't like wasting time in a battle, and then next thing you know, you're going, oh, slow motion. Now I gotta wait a good 2 to 3 seconds, maybe more, on an attack or whatever. I mean, another thing that was cool is it's easier to limit,
Yeah.
which is great. Thumbs up on fixing that issue because that was a big thing that I had a problem with in the original. You had to do so many attacks, and all the yada to get your limit, and the next thing you know, you're dead.
Yeah.
You know, and they fixed that issue. It's easier to get limits now, which is awesome. But they kept true to the original. It's great. It is gonna be amazing, and I cannot wait to mess around with that. So yeah, I have to say it'll be 8 out of 10 for me too. So we'll see what happens in almost a month.
Yeah.
It'll be here. So I'm totally gonna dig it, and I know Danny will definitely gonna dig it.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it was decent. It was decent.
Now I'll be in Tennessee for the 10th, so it'll probably be Larry who will probably play the first bit of it.
Maybe. Depends on how I am with Witcher.
Yeah, true. He might. And just so you guys know, in case we didn't say in the last episode, we will be using this channel for streams and videos for games as well, like all kinds of games. It doesn't matter if it's PlayStation, if it's Atari, doesn't matter if it's PS4, doesn't matter if it's the little Tamagotchi little keychain stuff. Like if it's a game, we're gonna post it. So, be ready for that. And really, that's all I have for, this week, Larry. What
like I said, I'm still messing around with The Witcher, getting close to the end of the game. Like, super close. I think we're on the final one right now.
Yep.
And then we're gonna end up going back and finishing, the side quests and all that. But it's getting very intense. I love it. It's great. And I don't know what else I can say about Witcher. Like I said, the Netflix show is awesome. The video game is awesome. So we're almost done with that, and it's been an amazing ride. A lot of sad things happen towards the end, and it's like, and I don't want to give anything away. For those of you who haven't played it, I mean, Danny missed quite a bit because I basically, I didn't take over his Xbox. He told me that I could take it down so I could mess around with Witcher. Mm-hmm. So I've been basically playing it on my own, and there's a lot of sad things that end up going down throughout the story that Danny even hasn't seen, so I really don't want to go into it too much, but I'm almost at the end. Hopefully we'll have that finished maybe even later tonight. Who knows? Maybe. Because there's really not much left to do, so... In the main story, anyway, as far as beating the game. But I like Danny's idea. We talked off camera a couple days ago, or no, it was after our first podcast about different things we can discuss. And I think I think you're right. I think what we should do is each week we pick a system at random, and we talk about our favorite games on that system.
Yeah.
So. I'll kick it off, and I'll go with the PS2. But, we got visual representation. Oh, by the way, too, if you ever get thirsty, right here, maybe this will be a cheap pop. Maybe we get a little side money from Brisk. This is the iced tea plus watermelon lemonade. Really, 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 really good. I drink this constantly. And of course, he also drinks awesome ass tea too, the Arnold Palmer half and half. So cheap pops to them. Maybe you can send us a couple bucks or something. That'd be pretty sweet. Oh, look, see? Yeah, see this is the baby one though. This is the baby. You have the original?
No.
You don't have the original?
Oh, no.
The big one. The big bulky PlayStation 2.
Also, by the way, my collection isn't going to consist of every version of every system for right now because I can't afford that. it's gonna be, I have one of that system. You know, so like the PlayStation 2, I have the skinny mini.
It still works.
Yeah.
It still works. Why not? It don't matter if it's the big one or the small one.
And, by the way, I am experimenting with some other editing and recording. So, eventually, yeah, exactly. So, you guys better be ready for me.
Wow.
You know, I got some plans for how I'm going to feature each system, you know, in the video. So, it won't actually be me grabbing it, you know, showing it. It's actually going to be, I won't tell you. You guys will just see.
Well,
So,
you know, I mean, you could just put the system we're talking about right here, and we can just lift it up.
yeah, I have a plan. Don't worry.
I see.
I have a nice plan.
Right.
Anyway,
But PS2,
yeah.
our favorite games on the PS2. Go.
Oh man.
It's harder than you think.
No, I know.
It is so harder than you think, because PS2 was such a extravagant piece of machinery.
And it was backwards compatible,
Yep.
so you could play.
PS1 games too.
Yeah.
But the PS1 games do not count. This is
Yeah.
PS2 only.
Let me see if I have any of my favorite ones over there. I have Vice City. Okay, so I guess I would have to put it in top 3. My top 3 PlayStation 2 games.
Top 3. Oof.
Okay, because I can't narrow it down. So
Oh.
it's basically a 3-way tie between
Okay.
uh,
Top 3 will work.
Need for Speed Underground 2, Grand Theft Auto.
Which one?
What was it? San Andreas. There we go. The one where you had the list of cheats all the time.
Yep.
It was great. It was such a good game.
Yep.
And then Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, okay.
I love Need for Speed because I'm not really a car guy, but it somehow brought me into liking to customize the cars, change the colors, you know, street racing in there. It did everything so well with stuff that's so illegal, but I loved it. Grand Theft Auto, same thing. Did stuff that's so illegal, but it was awesome. You know, like you can go and punch some random lady in the face on the streets, get money from her, and it has no real consequence.
Right.
And in real life, I just go on my happy little merry self, and it's like,
Right.
cool.
I mean, where else can you go and just walking down the street and punch a hooker and take her money?
I know. And then, I mean, Star Wars Battlefront 2,
Yeah.
like that game was just
Yeah.
phenomenal. I mean, just there's so much I could say about it. I mean,
Yeah. This is true.
you could play by yourself all the time. Like you have Galactic Conquest. You know, they still had the fighter fights that you can fight in space. And if you did well enough in the game or in the battle that you're doing, you can pick a Jedi or a Sith. And that was just, that was awesome. But you only had them for a limited time. So it's not like they were just completely broken. It's like once your character dies, that's it. You can't use that Sith Lord or Jedi Knight again. And those are my 3 favorite PS2 games. I mean, there's so many games that came out for the PS2.
No.
It just was all fun, but those would be my top 3 games.
Interesting. I do have to agree with you on one of them, and that's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That's the game that really got me hooked into the Grand Theft Auto games because it was really cool. It kind of took you back. It took me back to, you know, the gangster movies of the early mid 90s, late 90s. You know, Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, stuff like that, which was great because that's what I was into back then. So seeing that was so great, and just how expanded it was, because the last Grand Theft Auto game I played before that one was 1 on the PlayStation, where it was that top view, and all you do is just ride around, and it was just it just didn't work out. But yeah, I'd have to put that one at 3.
Okay.
Oh man, there's so many games. Twisted Metal. 2?
Yeah.
Twisted Metal 2, I think. Was it? I think it was
so.
Twisted Metal 2.
Twisted Metal.
Because Twisted Metal
or
originally came out
PlayStation.
on PlayStation,
Yeah.
and then there wasn't another one until the PS2. It was actually a release when the PS2 first came out.
Yep.
They that was their title game, was Twisted Metal 2, and oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
I would never get enough Twisted Metal. I'll put Twisted Metal at number 2. I loved the dynamics of that game. For some reason, it really wasn't about the graphics in the PS2. It was more along the lines of the gameplay. So, yeah, I'm gonna put Sugar Tooth was great.
I know.
So yeah, I'll put Twisted Metal at number 2. Number 1. This is so hard. I want to put a Resident Evil game in there. Oh, dude, what do I want to do here? This is where an editing would come in really handy right now.
It's okay.
Oh, I have to use my phone.
That's okay.
I have to use my phone because there's just so many games that were so great for the PS2. Oh, man.
Oh, I'm going to have to retract my favorite game for the PlayStation 2 because I just realized...
Yeah, I forgot about Legend of Dragoon. Oh, no.
Dragon Quest 8.
Dragon Quest 8, yeah. Legend of Dragoon, what am I talking about?
Yeah. Dragon Quest 8. That probably one of the best RPGs ever made. One of the best. Okay, not the best, but one of the best. It was fantastic when it came out.
Oh, yep. I thought that was later. Okay, never mind. Okay, my number 1 is Resident Evil 4.
Yep.
I knew there wasn't one on there, but I wasn't sure which one because Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was horrible. I don't know what it is about 3. I did not like it at all. Coming off the popularity and the massive storyline in the second Resident Evil, they totally dropped the ball with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I didn't care for it. It's part of the Resident Evil franchise. I have to give it the respect, but they were missing on a lot. But with Resident Evil 4, it was a very unique twist because you're not fighting zombies, you're just fighting crazed psychomaniacs.
Yeah.
Which was really, really cool for me to see. Seeing them do something other than just, typical zombies and mutated, creatures and whatnot like that. So, but Silent Hill was another one that was a
Forgot about
close.
Silent Hill.
Yeah, and which, like I said, when I had that battle going for a couple years between Resident Evil and Silent Hill, because, like I said, they're both survivor horror, they're both great, but unfortunately for Silent Hill, today it just totally fell down the wayside, and it really sucks because Guillermo del Toro was supposed to be a part of the Silent Hill remake and all that, but unfortunately a few years ago that fell through, which is why Resident Evil 7 plays a lot like a Silent Hill game, because that was supposed to be the mashup we were supposed to get and we didn't, and it still bums me out to this day. Biohazard, was a great game. It had the Silent Hill feel to it, which was awesome, and the Psycho Cannibal family.
They had it for VR as well.
They did. And I'm going to have to say Resident Evil 4 would have to be my favorite game on the PS2. And now that I think about it, I went through 2 PlayStations to finally beat the game because I played it so many times and for so long that it just wore out my systems and it wouldn't read my discs anymore. So I had to pitch those out and get new ones. And that was it. It was like I said, San Andreas, Resident Evil 4, and the first Rock Band. My PlayStation 2 was just nonstop 24/7 for months and months and months and months. And that was another cool thing. I should have made a top 5 instead of a top 3, but when Rock Band first came out, that was another huge deal because that was an innovative too. With me being a musician, I know how to play guitar, I know how to play bass and drums and all that. So I'm like, this is cool. You know, I get to see it on a video game level, and I'll tell you what, especially drums. I've been playing drums for 23 years. The drums on Rock Band are hard as hell.
Yeah.
I can't play the drums on Rock Band for shit.
That was
I
rough.
mean, I could set up my kit and just go off all day long, but when you put me in front of a Rock Band drum set, forget it. It's done. I'm horrible. I am horrible at Rock Band drums, but I'm an awesome bass player. So there's that. So those would be my top 3.
All right. Well, I'm going to end this off with the fact that for as much crap as you were giving Resident Evil 3, they are actually remaking it, and Nemesis can enter safe rooms.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah.
In the original Resident Evil 2 with Mr. X, he couldn't follow you. If you left the room, he doesn't follow you. He'll crash through a wall depending on, where your story is. It was all story driven. If you hit the spot, he's going to crash through the wall. But in the remake, he does not stop. He follows you wherever you go, and if you get trapped by Mr. X, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. There's no way you're gonna get out of it, and it pissed me off because I kept on dying because Mr. X kept on freaking getting me. And you can shoot him all day, you can chop at him all day, he won't die. And it was a big pain in my butt. So, but yeah, Resident Evil 7 though, that was Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 2 remake. There's another one I gotta think about. Ooh, I don't know. That'll be a topic for another. That'll be the next podcast, because we should actually have one of our episodes be like nothing but a certain game too.
Yeah.
Like we'll take like 45 minutes and talk about a certain video game, whether it be Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, Witcher, whatever.
Yep.
Whatever we feel like discussing. Even if you guys want to comment down below on our page, comment what would you like us to cover? What would you like to talk about?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, this is all for you guys. By gamers for gamers.
Yep.
So if you guys got any type of thing you want discussed, let's talk about it. Put your questions in the comments, or anything at all.
And we'll tell you why you're wrong.
Or right, it depends. It depends on the question, or depends on the topic. Pick topics. Anything you guys want us to discuss. Anything you want us to discuss. That doesn't sound right to me. Exactly. Anything you guys want to talk about, mention it in the comment section, and we'll start it up. We'll start a conversation. Whatever.
And on that note,
it's time to go watch the second game of the XFL.
This is Danny.
I'm Larry.
And this is to tell you guys to save twice. Have a good night.
Save twice.